About 350 million years ago, long before the age of dinosaurs, Earth was a very different place. Endless tropical swamps, filled with tall ferns, thrived under intense humidity and high oxygen levels. These conditions created a world teeming with life, but not the kind of life we see today. This era, called the Carboniferous period, was dominated by massive insects and swampy forests. The tropical forests absorbed large amounts of carbon dioxide through photosynthesis and released vast amounts of oxygen into the atmosphere. Oxygen levels during this time reached an astonishing 35%, more than 1.5 times what humans can safely breathe today. This high oxygen content fueled the growth of living organisms, creating ideal conditions for early vertebrates and massive invertebrates. Giant centipedes as long as cars roamed the forests, dragonflies with wingspans similar to modern hawks soared through the skies, and massive spiders and scorpions dominated the swamps. It was an age where enormous insects ruled the planet. If you were to visit these ancient jungles, the first thing you'd notice would be dizziness and blurred vision due to the overwhelming oxygen levels. Even wetwood could ignite with just a small spark. Your feet would likely sink into the swampy ground beneath you, typical of the humid environment. But the most striking sight would be in the sky. Overhead, enormous insects buzzed loudly. One species, called Paleodictyoptera, resembled giant butterflies. These winged creatures had intricate patterns on their wings, and their wingspans reached up to 22 inches, nearly 10 times larger than most modern flying insects. Despite their size, these ancient insects were harmless herbivores, feeding only on plant juices. On the ground, however, danger lurked. One of the most fearsome predators of this time was Pulmonoscorpius cuctanensis, the largest scorpion ever known, growing up to 28 inches long. For comparison, today's emperor scorpions only grow to about 8 inches. This massive scorpion had a hard exoskeleton for protection, sharp claws to capture prey, and a venomous stinger to finish the job. It hunted smaller creatures such as arthropods, mollusks, amphibians, and even reptiles on land and in water. Spotting this giant scorpion wasn't hard, it could easily spot you too, thanks to its multiple pairs of eyes and advanced sensory organs. If you weren't afraid of scorpions before encountering this one, you probably would be afterward. Back in the skies, alongside peaceful Paleodictyoptera, lived a far more dangerous predator, Meganeura, a dragonfly-like insect that was over 10 times larger than modern dragonflies. With a wingspan of up to 2.3 feet and a body length of around 1.3 feet, these giant flyers were the apex predators of their time. Meganeura's large compound eyes gave it nearly 360-degree vision, allowing it to spot prey from any direction. Strong legs equipped with spines helped capture and hold prey in midair, making it one of the most aggressive aerial hunters of the Carboniferous period. This ancient world, filled with towering plants and colossal insects, was both fascinating and terrifying, a true reflection of life's adaptability and the incredible diversity Earth has seen throughout its history. It is believed that their prey often included giant butterflies, and their ability to adapt to different environments allowed them to use two hunting strategies. They could either stay still, waiting for an ambush, or chase their prey while flying. These predators were fast, agile, and excellent at making sharp aerial moves. They were also good at avoiding obstacles while chasing targets. While giant dragonflies had no real competitors in the air, life on land was tougher, even for the mighty scorpions, especially when facing a giant creature called Arthropleura. Arthropleura was the largest millipede to ever live, and it was a terrifying sight for anyone. It was the biggest land invertebrate in Earth's history. The smallest members of this species grew to 12 inches, while the largest could reach 8.5 feet and weigh 110 pounds. In comparison, today's largest millipede, Archispirostreptus gigas, only grows to about 13 inches. Arthropleura had a body made up of 30 armored segments, each as wide as 1.6 feet, and it had a pair of legs under each segment. Like many arthropods, it shed its exoskeleton as it grew, and a stronger one would replace it. This millipede's exoskeleton was likely very tough, protecting it from predators. However, encounters with predators were rare because the Carboniferous period didn't have many dangerous animals. Even giant scorpions would likely avoid attacking something that was several times their size. No fossils of the head or mouth parts of Arthropleura have been found, so scientists are unsure what it ate. It is believed that these giant creatures mostly fed on decaying plants and seeds. Young ones probably only ate plants, but adults may have occasionally eaten decaying meat or small animals. The Carboniferous jungles were home to even more unique creatures. Among the swamps, another predator waited for small reptiles and amphibians. It looked like a giant spider but was actually a relative of sea scorpions, known as Megarachne. Initially, paleontologists thought it was a spider, which is why it was named Megarachne, meaning big spider. Later, it became clear that it was a giant sea scorpion. Its body could grow up to 1.8 feet long, and it had paddle-like appendages that helped it feed by sweeping through soft sediments in the water to catch small creatures like worms, insects, and arthropods. It occasionally fed on land animals, but these were harder to catch due to their speed. Its ancestor, Pterygotus, lived over 400 million years ago and was much larger. It could grow to about 5.2 feet long. Pterygotus was more dynamic, and some species grew even larger, reaching 6 to 6.6 feet in length. These creatures used the same method of feeding, but their diet may have included larger reptiles and amphibians. However, the largest known arthropod from this time was Jaekelopterus, which could grow up to 8.5 feet long. It used its powerful claws, which were about 1.4 feet long, to grab and crush its prey. Despite its large size, it likely weighed no more than 220 pounds. Not all creatures from the Carboniferous period were giants. Beneath the jungle, tiny creatures existed. One such species was Trigonotarbida, the earliest known arachnids, or spider relatives. These creatures lived over 400 million years ago, even before the Carboniferous period. They were small, with the largest only reaching 2 inches. They were the first arachnids to adapt fully to life on land and could breathe air, unlike earlier species. They were similar in appearance to modern spiders but couldn't spin webs. These armored spiders were among the smallest predators of their time, likely hunting worms and other invertebrates. They probably didn't use venom, instead grabbing prey with their legs to hold it in place. The Carboniferous period was an exciting time for evolutionary experiments. Many giant and often dangerous creatures dominated the land and air, but underwater, another remarkable creature existed. Lepidocaris, a tiny, ancient worm from 400 million years ago, lived in shallow reefs in what is now Australia. These worms, though small, were heavily armored, looking like tiny knights covered in plates made of calcareous crystals. This armor protected them from predators, and they could curl up to protect their soft underbelly. This unique defense made it difficult for enemies to harm them, but it also limited their mobility. Because of this, the Excalibur worm eventually went extinct, though it left no significant descendants. As the Carboniferous period ended, amphibians began to diversify. Some evolved into creatures resembling modern-day crocodiles, growing up to 20 feet long, with thick, scaly skin to prevent dehydration when away from water. These amphibians also evolved to lay eggs on land, which allowed them to live farther from water sources. The Carboniferous period transitioned into the Permian period about 300 million years ago, just before the age of dinosaurs. At this time, all continents were part of a supercontinent called Pangaea. During the Permian period, early mammals evolved. One such creature was Gorgonopsians, a giant, bear-like animal with specialized teeth. Some of these creatures may have hunted in packs. In the oceans, fish with bony skeletons began to evolve, and sharks and rays flourished. On land, insects adapted with mouthparts that allowed them to pierce and suck. Around 252 million years ago, a cataclysmic event caused a mass extinction. Scientists discovered that an asteroid or comet, about 6 to 12 kilometers wide, struck the Earth. The impact released an energy 1 million times stronger than the largest earthquake in history. At the same time, massive volcanic eruptions created clouds of ash that blocked out sunlight. This combination of events caused the Great Dying, where 90% of marine species and 70% of land species went extinct. This mass extinction marked the start of the Mesozoic era, which saw the rise of dinosaurs. During the Triassic period, small reptiles began to evolve into dinosaurs. The first dinosaurs, like Eoraptor, were small, fast creatures. As dinosaurs evolved, they became more diverse, with predators like Herosaurus growing to lengths of 3 to 6 meters. By the end of the Triassic period, the first plant-eating dinosaurs appeared, such as Pisanosaurus. These early dinosaurs paved the way for the massive reptiles that would dominate the Mesozoic era. Since the late Triassic period, insects like leafhoppers and beetles were abundant, and Earth's earliest mammals scurried around the feet of dinosaurs. This is when dinosaurs began to make their mark. Small, plant-eating, four-legged dinosaurs evolved into massive giants. The plant-eating Brachiosaurus, for example, stood 16 meters tall and stretched 26 meters long, weighing about 25 tons. Another large plant-eater, the Diplodocus, reached 27 meters in length and weighed between 30 and 50 tons. These enormous herbivores were so large that they likely deterred predators, such as the meat-eating Allosaurus, which roamed the same time. The Allosaurus was a large carnivore, measuring 7 to 12 meters long, weighing nearly 2 tons, and had 16 sharp teeth in its jaws. It could run up to 34 kilometers per hour and would feed on dinosaurs like Stegosaurus. In return, the Stegosaurus defended itself with its powerful spiked tail, which could cause severe damage to predators like the Allosaurus. This likely helped the Stegosaurus survive until the late Cretaceous period. By the time of the Tyrannosaurus rex, the predators became even more terrifying. The T-Rex could grow up to 12.5 meters long and weigh between 8 to 10 tons, though some estimates suggest it may have been smaller. However, the T-Rex was not the only dangerous carnivore. The Gigantosaurus from South America and the Spinosaurus from Northern Africa were also formidable predators, each weighing around 9 to 10 tons. Despite this, the T-Rex was a deadly predator with a bite force between 1,500 and 5,000 pounds per square inch, capable of biting through flesh up to 225 kilograms. The T-Rex's diet was challenging because it shared its environment with heavily armored herbivores, like the Triceratops. Triceratops, with its 3 horns and robust build, weighed 6.5 to 13 tons and was about 9 meters long. It had up to 800 teeth arranged in vertical columns, allowing it to effectively grind tough vegetation. Another iconic armored dinosaur was the Ankylosaurus, which lived until the end of the Cretaceous period. It had a body covered in bony plates, a beak, and a tail with a club, which helped protect it from predators like the T-Rex. By the late Cretaceous period, a new group of dinosaurs, known as hadrosaurids or duck-billed dinosaurs, evolved. These dinosaurs were large, plant-eaters that lived in herds. They had tough beaks for shredding vegetation and could walk on 2 legs. Even larger dinosaurs appeared at this time. Argentinosaurus, for example, was possibly the largest land animal ever to exist. It could reach lengths of 30 to 40 meters and weigh between 50 to 100 tons. These giants were part of the Titanosaur group, which dominated during the Cretaceous. Some dinosaurs, such as the Pachycephalos, had bizarre skulls with horns and thickened areas, possibly for defense or to establish dominance over their own species. Many dinosaurs also lived in colder regions, particularly in the southern part of the Earth, within the Antarctic Circle, during the Cretaceous. The climate could be harsh, with temperatures as low as -10 degrees Celsius during the long winter nights. In 2014, a miniature T-Rex cousin, Nanotyrannus, was discovered. It was about 6 meters long and likely had feathers to protect it from the cold. Other dinosaurs, like horned and duck-billed species, as well as small, feathery predators, lived in this polar region. Although dinosaurs are known to have gone extinct, they were the most successful vertebrate animals to ever walk the Earth, surviving for an impressive 165 million years. Surprisingly, some of their relatives still exist today. Modern birds are descendants of feathered dinosaurs, and crocodiles are the closest living relatives to birds, as they share a common ancestor. That's the story of the dinosaurs, from their rise to dominance to their extinction. Stay tuned for more exciting videos.